Hello, big up, good afternoon, halftime TV viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode. And today we'll be sharing our take on the Kaheim Dixon situation. Now, news broke a couple of days ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before that there are a number of big clubs in the MLS and in Denmark and in Portugal and Belgium who are interested in Kaheim Dixon's signature. Now, for those who don't know Kaheim Dixon, Clarendon College standout, magnificent football player. And I say football player because I think there's far more to his game than just his goal scoring talent. All right. So far more. We've watched football long enough to understand that goal scorers are different from general football players. And I think Roy Keane's assertion of Erling Haaland over the weekend as Arsenal played Manchester City basically sums it up. So, Kaheim Dixon, top quality football player, and we received some news. I think you received it as well, that he would be on the move soon because he's attracting interest from a number of top clubs across Europe. Now, I'll be sharing my bit on it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my take on the entire situation, then some facets that I think will contribute to the move being a productive one. All right, so big shout out to everyone in the comment section. Walker, big up yourself. Genuine, our halftime TV fan. John Powell, big up yourself as well. Big up all the day one halftime TV fans. We're we're touching distance from 17,000 subscribers, and I must say, what a journey it's been. So, Kaheim Dixon going to the MLS. I think a lot of the Jamaican fans, we know he plays for Arnett Gardens now. A lot of the Jamaican fans looking on, they don't want him to go to MLS. Why? Because I don't know. There's just this thing, this stigma surrounding the MLS when it comes to Jamaican players. Most Jamaican players, especially those coming from the local Premier League, they end up in the USL, and I think that's primarily due to their agents. Now, we might not realize it, but agents play a significant role in players and how their futures are played out. All right, how the future of these players turn out. We see top quality players in schoolboy football, the likes of Ashton Bennett, the likes of so much top quality players. Alex Marshall now back in the local Premier League. We've seen them year in, year out. Yet a couple of years after, they go to the USL or they go to whichever league it is that they go to, and they end up back in the local Premier League. And we're wondering what went wrong. Like 17, 18, these players were on top of the world. What happened? Halftime TV is saying the agents are imperative to the success of the players. And I think during this stage, this is a formative stage for a lot of these players, 18, 19, the decision that you make now, it has to be calculated. It has to be very meticulous, because this decision may determine how your future as a footballer turns out. All right. So that's my opinion. When it comes down to agents, I think not only are a lot of the agents very lazy, but they are comfortable. They have their comfort zone where these are the people that they're working with. Whether it's a handful of USL clubs. So as soon as the next big player comes out of Jamaica, they ensure that these players go to the USL. All right. There's also the thing of language barrier, where I find a lot of Jamaican footballers, they try to avoid it. They don't want to go there because that place doesn't speak English. They don't want to go there because they think they're gonna struggle because of the barriers when it comes down to language. I'm not for it. All right. So back to the matter at hand. We spoke about the agents, and I think Craig Butler and his connections, they've worked wonders for a number of his players. We haven't seen them all the time playing for Jamaica, but he's gotten a few players into clubs in Europe, and it's because of his connections. It's because he gets himself to the table where the conversations are had. He gets himself in the rooms where the people who are important to respective clubs are sitting. So I think networking is key when it comes down to being an agent, and a lot of the agents who are representing some of Jamaica's brightest young talents, they're not getting into those rooms. Now, we spoke about Kaheim Dixon and him being on the move. I think it's important to note as well that his teammate Malachi Douglas is also now with Phoenix Academy. So he's with Phoenix Academy. Um, we expect Craig to bring him on that summer tour that he usually has, where he brings the players across Europe and different clubs take a look and that sort of thing. So I'm watching on, and I think the obvious choices will be Belgium and Portugal. Naturally, I think Belgium is what the Jupiler League. I think they're eighth as it relates to UEFA ranking. I think Portugal should be in the top five, if not in the top five, just out of the top five. Not sure as of now, but I think from the Belgian standpoint, that's the league that Leon Bailey went to, honed his craft or developed his craft a bit more, got to Bayer Leverkusen in Germany, and then from Bayer Leverkusen to England. We may be thinking, oh, we want to get him in the top league as soon as possible. Sometimes we need to take a step back to take two steps forward, right? So maybe the Portuguese league isn't the right league for him right now. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a case where he will go to the Portuguese league and he will be playing every week and that sort of thing, because obviously these players want game time to develop their craft, right? So they want to be playing every day, every week, because that's the only way they're going to improve. That's the only way they're going to build on what they currently have. And I think the coach at Arnett Gardens is doing great, giving him as much game time as possible. And we're seeing him getting on the score sheet. Oftentimes we hear them say, oh, he's too young and he's not ready as yet and all of that. And we look across the room and we see 16 and 15-year-olds making debut for top clubs across Europe. I think I'm personally happy that Jamaica has gotten past the idea that these youngsters are not ready for big man ball, as we call it, right? I'm not ready at big man ball, I'm not ready at little boy football. You get me? I'm happy that we're now at a space where the likes of Dujon Whisper Richards and the likes of Kaheim Dixon can get opportunities to play for Jamaica's senior team, because in yesteryear, coaches weren't looking in their direction. Coaches were looking at more seasoned, more experienced players, and it could be the pressures that have been on these coaches by the Jamaica Football Federation, or them actually knowing that, hey, my days are numbered. I need to ensure that I get results, because if I don't get results, then my head is on the chopping block. It's good to see that Coach Holgrimson is taking the road where he's giving the youngsters the opportunity, and on the back of what happened with Whisper, I think it will open the doors for so much more top talented young Jamaican footballers to be given a look in at not only the senior national team, but also top clubs abroad will be paying attention to them as well. And I think especially if Dujon Richards goes on to do well with Chelsea, as we expect him to do, he's hit the ground running. Yeah. So especially if he hit the ground running at Chelsea, which he has already done at the under 18 and the under 20 level, when he gets to the senior team, I expect more heads to be turning, and I expect him to get to the senior team very soon. Right. So I think the obvious choices for Kaheim Dixon will be Portugal and Belgium. Belgium has a good league. I think what they transfer in just over 300 players every year, but they transfer out just over 300 players as well. So the average that players the average time that these players spend in the league is usually 2 years. I think the transfers in the average age group is roughly 21. The average age group for transferring out is 23. So it's more of a platform for most of these players, a stepping stone where they go there, they prove themselves, and then they're moved on to bigger clubs. So I think the Belgium Pro League would be good for him, but we've also seen a couple of Jamaican players who played in the Belgian Pro League and they haven't really matriculated. So I'd like to see what he looks like in the Portuguese league. I know the Portuguese league has very strong connection to the English Premier League, and a lot of players from the Portuguese league, they move to the EPL on an annual basis, whether it's in the winter or in the summer transfer windows. But there is always players moving from Portugal to England. So I'm interested to see what that would look like as well. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it over to you, the viewers and subscribers, so I can hear what your thoughts are. What do you think? Should Kaheim Dixon move to Portugal or Belgium? Remember, we've deduced down to these two. I think Denmark was the other option and MLS, but we've kind of said no, we don't want him to go to the MLS. We want him to go to Europe and then to England. All right, it doesn't always play out that way. We don't always get what we want, but I am putting it out there right now. I'm putting it out in the universe. Belgium and Portugal is where I'm looking, and I think he'd be a good fit because of the type of footballer he is. Not only goal scorer, so I don't want you to I was gonna say misconstrue, but I don't want you to twist my words. The type of footballer he is, I think he has way more to offer than just his goal scoring ability. So that's why I think that's why I like the Portuguese league. I think the Portuguese league, very technical league, a lot of proper footballers, and I say footballers in a general sense. And I think he will do well there. I think he will strive there. All right, Kenroy Campbell. All right, so again, what are your thoughts, viewers, subscribers? Where do you think Kaheim Dixon should go? Where do you think is the best move for him now in his career? And remember, the move that he makes now may very well determine the trajectory of his career from here on. We've seen so many players go to Europe and say, oh yes, I'm going to Europe, I'm going to Europe. But then as soon as they get to Europe, they fall off the map. We don't see or hear anything from them from there. All right, so yeah, drop it in the comment section. Kaheim Dixon possibly on the move this summer, but where to, yet to be seen. We're gonna ask the questions to the viewers. Where would you prefer to see Jamaica's next top young talent playing come next season? Let's hear it down below. And remember, like, share, subscribe. Halftime TV saying have a wonderful day. Until next time.